mermaid there. Also coming up in this half hour, she has one of the great voices in the world, and that voice catapulted her to fame as an opera singer. And then her waistline got her fired from a job. Well, you're going to meet her 145 pounds later. And by the way, is living well the best revenge, or is having them call you and say, please come back? Please come back to us, sing with us. You're going to have a chance to talk to her. All of that's ahead, but first, Heather Nauert once again with the news.
Thanks, Diane. Good.
Very nice. Diane?
Okay, Mike, thanks. Well, we're joined now by truly one of the greatest opera singers of our time, famed soprano Deborah Voigt, who in 2003, you'll remember, was fired by London's famed Royal Opera House for being too heavy. But listen to the voice. Well, guess what? After surgery, 145 pounds were lost. And back in 2003, before she did it, she sat and talked with us about the public embarrassment.
I'm disappointed because I think that the priorities of the Royal Opera House were a little bit askew in the decision that they made.
Really weren't hurt?
Not really, no. Angry perhaps a little bit. I had sung there twice prior to this particular incident, so they knew me and knew the lady and knew the package.
And that was the package and the lady in 2003, and this is Deborah Voigt today. Look at you.
Well, thank you very much.
So, you got the call saying, come back.
I
Had
did.
you been sitting by the phone waiting for that revenge?
In a word, no. No. It came actually as quite a surprise, and I've had several people say, well, why would you go back when the circumstances...
Yes.
Well, you know, I decided that there are a lot of people in England that I would like to sing for, and just because of the opinion of a few administrators was really not a reason to keep myself from that part of the world.
I was telling you earlier, I can't wait for the applause when you walk on that stage after this incident became such a horror for so many people.
Right.
And there was a dress they wanted you to wear then. I hope they still have that dress.
The infamous little black dress.
The little black dress?
Yeah.
I hope they have that thing
Oh,
around.
I'm sure it's lurking around somewhere.
Because you went from a size, what, you went from size 30 to size...
Size 30, and I'm in about a 12 now, which is the average American woman, so I'm very happy to be amongst the average American women.
Well, you had the surgery, as we said. Was this really the reason? Was this the trigger when they did that to you? Did
No,
it
this
propel you?
absolutely was not the trigger, and people are going to assume that it was. The irony of the situation is that because of the cancellation of this contract, I found myself with 6 or 7 weeks free time, and so I used the time that I would have been singing on stage at Covent Garden to have gastric bypass, and if you want to get technical, they bought out the contract, so I guess we could say they paid for it as well.
Oh, that's even sweeter.
Revenge is mine.
And you did it because of medical reasons?
I really did, yeah. The quality of my life was not good. I was not just a heavy opera singer. I was obese and was really fighting with an obsession with food, and my knees were bothering me, and it was time.
How different is your daily life now, and how different is your voice?
I don't think that the quality of my voice has changed. I have to think about it a little bit more. I don't have sort of an automatic built-in support system with all that extra poundage engaging my muscles. So I do think about it a little bit more. But that being said, the opportunities to sing a wider variety of repertoire makes all of it much more exciting for me.
Talk about wide variety of repertoire. You're going to be going back, and you're going to be singing in Salome.
I am, with the Chicago Lyric Opera.
Which has the Dance of the Seven Veils
Or
in
as
it,
I used to call it, the Dance of the 77 Veils. We've been able to drop a few.
For the girl you were.
Yeah, exactly.
So now 7 veils.
Right.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to take off those veils?
In the buff, as it were?
Yeah.
I doubt it. I feel confident, but I don't know. Even if I was a size 4, I'm not sure I'd be confident with that. And I will see as the date approaches, and if I feel convinced that it's necessary for the production and for the role. I hope to do as much as I can, but we'll see.
So here we are, end of the day, full circle.
Yeah.
Weight is lost.
Yes.
They came back and said, please come back to us. What is the moral of this story? What is the last word on this story?
The last word, I think, on the story is that everyone has to do what's best for themselves and what's healthiest for themselves. And you can't let yourself be influenced by anything, especially with something as serious as gastric bypass. This is not something that you do because you've been fired from a job or because you want to look a little bit better for your date in 6 months or your high school reunion or whatever the case may be. This is a serious medical decision. And having gone through it, the fact that I'm being invited back and to something that ended up being such a public format is really sort of a sweet victory for me personally.
So the first sentence you say when you walk in the door and see them?
Oh, there's a good question. Nice to be back. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Well, it's great to have you back here.
Thank you.
And once again, London will get to hear the glorious voice of Deborah Voigt. It's wonderful to
Thanks,
have you. Coming up next, Mothers, Daughters show you how the two generations can dress even in the same clothes, but with a few differences.